Hi, Nick here with MedTech World. Sitting with me is Yoav Fisher with HealthIL. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great. Your organization is a government organization?
Yeah, it's a nonprofit but backed by the government. It's effectively kind of the grease and the glue behind the scenes. People on my board is the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Economy, and the Israel Innovation Authority. So it's para-governmental, I would say.
And an accelerator working on solving the problems within healthcare and as the overall agenda.
So it's not an accelerator. We don't do traditional acceleration stuff for startups. It looks really holistically through all of the stakeholders, meaning I work with the startups, I work with governmental agencies, I work with all the multinationals that we're familiar with, all the names from NVIDIA through Pfizer. Basically looking at it from the perspective of the issues and the challenges of healthcare systems and how can you put together all of these pieces in order to move it forward. And the basis is really easy, and this is in every country in Europe, right? The cost of care is going up and the national budget is not going up as fast. So the only way to kind of address that gap is by successfully integrating startups and technologies. And that's difficult. That's extremely challenging. It requires understanding the deep complexities of regulation, of integration, of data. Does it exist? How is it coded, etc. And that's how we move it forward, by addressing all of these challenges and trying to figure out where this common denominator is so we can start kind of plugging in startups, not just in Israel. We work a lot in Europe, a lot in the US. And that's kind of the theory of it. Like, the only way for all of us here to kind of enjoy this technology is by really deeply understanding how difficult it is to integrate it and how do you solve for that.
Right. And working with so many startups, you've been involved in hundreds and hundreds of pilots, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Israel has a ton of startups. Israel has, right now in my little CRM, about 1,800 active. Half of them are in what I call health tech, software driven, software only. A quarter of them are in what's called device, which is very, apt for this conference. And the other quarter is pharma and biotech. So we work across all of these stages, and startups have different needs. Someone who's at the idea stage is going to have a different need and a different way to integrate with someone, whether it's a hospital or an HMO or whatever, than someone who's very late stage. And yeah, I work across the board with all of them at every stage.
Lovely. And being here in Malta, is there scouting in effect, or what has been your core focus here in Malta at MedTech World?
So my core focus is actually not coming in from the startup perspective. There's one Israeli startup here that's great. They're called Chemtide, that I work with a lot. My focus here is more on the national level to see if there's things that what we're doing in Israel that can be imparted here and help Malta, and vice versa. Because Malta, because it's so small, has this value out of being agile. They're not burdened by layers and layers and layers of bureaucracy like the EU, for example. So they do have this ability to kind of be nimble and assess strategically what they want to do and how they want to play in the larger European market. And I met with them yesterday with the governmental entities here to see if maybe there's things that I work on in Israel that can be adapted here to help. Maybe there's in reverse, maybe there's ways that Malta can work with Israel. That's what I'm here for.
Right, we're a fantastic environment for piloting here ourselves.
Yeah.
With that agility.
Yeah. And I'm really impressed by the fact that there's so much activity here for such a small location.
Oh, we're very impressed, and thank you for bringing the strength and the power of HealthIL to Malta.
We'll see. These things take time. It's really complex. Like sometimes you get into dirty little angles of what's your IP policy, what's your tax policy. No one wants to deal with it. I have a special place in my heart for that stuff, but that's my issue.
Regulated environments. Wonderful. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Nicholas signing off from MedTech World.